welcome back to Freeman Fun Fridays. This is Crafting with Crystal. Today we're going to be doing a fun little February craft for Valentine's Day. Hopefully for all of my millennials and older out there, you have a lot of old CDs, burned ones and otherwise, maybe even vinyls. But today we're going to be using CDs to create a romantic atmosphere for Valentine's Day. So this is our craft for today. It's a fun little DVD coaster to kind of set a little bit of the mood. We have a little fake tea lamp here. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'll show you all of the crafts that we will need. Forgive me for looking off to the side. I am just checking that I am showing everything that I need to possibly show. I'm using a new thingamajig. So trying to work this out. Anyway, so we'll be doing that. It's really simple, really easy. It takes less than maybe 20 minutes depending on how fast you work. So let's get started. Let me take off my mask. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be doing this fun little tea lamp. I did not glue this down just because I wanted it to be movable. And you could see how my design kind of centered around where this was going to be. I did it so that this little on and off knob would be directly over the hole, just in case I did want to glue this down. But since it's a sample and I need this for another one, I did not glue it down. I have limited supplies. So the things that you will need today are, of course, your tea light or mini candle, a couple of CDs. It doesn't matter what kind. For this project, you can use any of them. If you're planning to do mosaics and other pieces later with different CDs that you have, make sure that they are rewritable CDs. Ones that aren't rewritable tend to have this nice fun looking cover on it, but it will flake off as soon as you start cutting into it with scissors, which I found out. So if you're looking to do mosaics and you're going out to get CDs after you want to try this coaster thing and then do something else with them, make sure they're rewritable and not just the regular CDR. You can do it on the front or the back. So you'll need your light, your CDs there, a pair of scissors, your glue sticks, your glue gun, and your little gems or whatever it is that you're going to be using. Now for the base of it, you can use a variety of different things. So with this one, I ended up using this really small thin twine. For the second one, however, I am going to be using this big yarn. One, because I found that this thin twine, which is about half the size of this yarn, takes a very long time to wrap around. And there were many holes because the twine isn't as even all the way around. I'm not saying the yarn will be, but at least keep that in mind whenever you're doing this. It will be a time intensive / tedious project as far as the base goes. So to do that, of course, you want to get your hot glue gun started. It's already plugged in, which is why I can't move it too far away from this area that I'm using. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so getting started. You can choose to do any number of things with this to begin with. What I ended up doing with that first one, you might be able to see I used the same kind of CD that it has peeking through here, the little pink areas. And I didn't mind that so much. I wanted it to have some color behind it. It just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So if you're looking for a more consistent base and you're not wanting to put the time in to really make sure those your twine or your yarn is really sitting flush with each other, then I recommend you paint your CD first. One solid color, black, brown, beige, nice rosy pink, depending on what you're using these for. Now, with, let's say you were doing twine and not the glue, you'll notice how you can see less of the little flyaways that the glue was giving off than you can see here. You see it's starting to bunch up there, and that will happen if you're putting a lot of glue down just to try to better your chances at getting the yarn where it needs to be. So be careful with that. If you're going to press it down and move it, be aware, if you're going to press it down and move it in, be aware that the glue will bunch up in those areas and you'll have this shiny part that you don't want on your yarn. However, again, like with the base, you can paint your twine or slash yarn a solid color afterwards. So I'm not too worried about the look at the moment, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to, you know, dot those areas of glue that have bunched up here with like a Sharpie marker, because it is black, something that I can use to mask it. As I will say this and every time, it is okay to make mistakes, and it is okay if it starts turning out lopsided or more on one side than the other. It is completely okay. One, it is a do-it-yourself craft, so I don't think anyone's going to judge you for putting your all and all your effort into something that you handmade for someone, unless they're just evil. So don't worry too much about aesthetics until afterwards, because you will stress yourself out trying to worry about it during. Especially if you're trying to make this perfect. Anything that you do with the glue gun is probably not going to be the best looking at first until you clean up the flyaways. The little spider webs that tend to happen, as is happening here. And you can see those little spider webs, but it's okay because we're gonna go over them and they will be masked for the most part. Hopefully at this point, when we're almost done, you've already decided in your head what it is that you're going to do with this particular project, how you want it to look, how you want it to behave, and generally how you're going to decorate it. If you haven't, start doing that. Because maybe you don't want the black yarn, or maybe you don't even want the solid color on your CD here, which is entirely possible. You can change the yarn out midway or a quarter of the way, or even do like a mandala-like effect and just use different colored yarns, twine, whichever you'd like. but that is generally gonna be more frustrating and time consuming as all crafting is. But if you're a beginner, then stick with one colored yarn, or even, you know, do the one color twine or yarn and paint it the way you want to. You can do so much more with these CDs and with this mandala, not this mandala, with this project than just rolling yarn on it and sticking beads on it. You can create mandalas, you can use paint. You don't even have to use yarn as the base. I did only generally because, again, my hands sweat when I focus. And so I knew that if I'd used one side to create a paint mandala, it wasn't going to stay looking good for too long. But there are many, many tutorials on that, which I don't mind doing if that is something you'll want to see. Just comment below and say that's something you'd like to see. That way I can go ahead and plan that out. But generally, I try to do crafts that don't require a whole lot of beautification and precision, as well as you know, having to look nice when you're done with it as far as you touching it, because mine tend not to with the way my hands work. As I explained in my last video, there is a reason why I'm doing this little flick of the wrist, if you will, whenever I'm taking off the glue from the CD. And that's because the little flyaways are more likely to get caught on the end of the glue gun if you're pulling on it, as opposed to your yarn. Not saying that it won't happen, because obviously there's still a lot of flyaways on my CD here, but that's generally due to my bad planning. Nope. Ran out of my glue stick already quickly. Had to push that in there. Hopefully it'll stick. And I am doing this quickly, so you will notice where you can see through my yarn here. If that's something you want to avoid, make sure that you're working less fast and not doing it as quickly as I'm trying to do it here. So we're coming to the end here, and if you'd like, I'm not going to, but if you'd like to make this a little bit more sturdy, instead of cutting it off at the end, you will double up and go back around. Give me a moment. So instead of, let's say my end was right here, instead of ending it right here and cutting it off, I would continue to go back around and then circle all the way back in and just double up. One, it'll hide these flyaways if I wanted to take more time on my second level. It'll hide those areas that the yarn didn't quite scooch into. It'll hide those areas where I pushed the glue a little too far and it bundled up between those areas. And generally it will make it sturdier, because it'll be 2 levels as opposed to the 1, which is always good. Like they say, 2 hits are better than 1. Well, 2 coats of anything is better than one. So if that's something that you want to do, it will definitely make a difference in the way it looks. And generally, as with all of the crafts that I do, you can do it multiple different ways. You can do one solid base color and then do the top color a different color, or even a variety of colors. As I always say, make the craft your own, experiment, have fun with it. Generally, just make it your own. See what it is that you like to do with it. Okay, coming to an end here. I have gotten all my bases covered. My center's looking a little wonky, but that's okay, because it's going to be covered. Okay, and now at this point you can see it's got a lot of flyaways, it's got a lot of areas where the glue is shining through as opposed to the under CD. And those areas I can like paint over, make it all the way black, and generally just color over the glue so that it looks one solid color and it's not shiny in one area more than any others. You may also spray paint it, basically anything that you could do to solid color over your base if you don't want all these flyaways. And generally you will have some working with glue gun. But we're going to move on. So from here, now that you have your base, and let's assume it's the way you want it to be, no flyaways, solid color, you're going to center your tea light on it. And this will be completely dependent on you. If you're going to do like I did with the other one and have your design off to the side, you see how the circle's not quite there, is because I matched that area with that center circle there, so that in case I wanted to glue this down, I could just turn it over and the switch is right there. But since I didn't glue it down and I'm reusing it, I will assume that I'm doing the same thing with this one. So instead of centering that part right over the middle hole there, I'm just going to center it all together. Looks about center. And then I'm going to design my outside to that, whether it be with yarn, whether it be with jewels, whether it be with paint, whatever I'm planning to do. I want to make sure that my tea light is set where I want it, and then I am going to make my design around it. So I've chosen these little bejeweled hearts. You can get a whole box of these at any craft store really, Dollar Tree, Michael's, I think even Joann's probably. And they come with many different sizes, shapes, and colors, which is where I got these ones from as well. I just decided to go with a different color here since I went with a different yarn. For time's sake, I'm not going to clean up my base. Ooh, sticking. Here we go. Okay. So I have my little hearts there, and then I am going to just add some more beads around it. I'm just placing these far enough away, but still in the middle of where my hearts are positioned, to give it a mini mandala effect. You don't have to use just the jewels, you don't have to use just the paint, you don't have to use just the yarn. Again, make this your own. As I did with the other one, you may even want to find a flower, especially if this is going to be a romantic candlelit one for your significant other. And who doesn't love handmade romance? But yeah, so you can go ahead and glue flowers on the side of it, pictures. You can make it into a stand, but this is the project we had for today. We were making a fun little coaster for your tea light so that when you turn it on and you leave it out in the dark, it will look so nice. So that was our project for today. I will go ahead and glue these down and get a set started. I'll have both tan and black going because I do have a ton of CDs. But that's how simple it was. You're just taking a CD, a blank CD of any type, gluing twine or yarn of any color, of any style on there, and just keep in mind that thinner styles will take some time and will give you a lot of trouble. But they are flatter too, so they'll be more even once you set things down. Yeah, how simple and how fast was that? I may have taken some time doing the gluing of the actual base down, but that was the only thing that took a whole lot of time. So hopefully my other millennials will enjoy this one. So that was our craft for today. Super simple, super easy. Like I always say, I like doing those kinds of crafts that you can just grab anything from your house and make it out of. My millennials, please, I know you have a ton of burned CDs that you're never gonna listen to again. Do you even have CD players anymore? To be honest, come on, isn't everyone using like a radio service? Anyway, I thought this was fun and it was super cute. I will definitely be making a ton more of these so that I can, maybe even do like, instead of rose petals, because a lot of people buy fake rose petals. Don't do that. You need to recycle. This is reusable. This is something that you can use over and over. Even if the jewels flake off, you can always replace them with more. If the tea lights go out, you can just replace the batteries. If the yarn starts fraying, you can Mod Podge it and make it look whole again. These are just things that you can use over and over and like place all around your house, even if it's not for a romantic holiday. This one looks a little bit more Halloween than anything, which is more my aesthetic. Oh, look at all that glue there. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved that I got to touch these CDs again. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the craft today. Again, if y'all want to see like the mosaic done, I will try to find some rewritable CDs so I can cut them up. Cutting CDs is relatively easy. Cutting non-rewritable CDs is also easy, but it's not so easy to keep this nice flashy cover on it if you're wanting to use those colors. So let us know what it is that you'd like to see this coming year. It's only February. We have the rest of the year. Let's get it going. Let's get these projects going, these crafts going. Share this with your friends and family. Let's do this together and have a fun year. Let's have a fun year. Have a great day. I'm gonna get it from above. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Testing the sound. Yeah. Okay. Bear with me. This is a little new. Hello and welcome back to Fun Freeman Friday. This is Crafting with Crystal. So Today we're going to be doing a fairly simple, fairly easy, oh no! Okay, that's fine. Oh gosh, I'm rambling. Can y'all hear me?